Hi, my name is Candace, aka Picasso Baby, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create your very own Mommy and Me butterflies. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping back by to paint with me today. So today we are going to be doing a painting that was requested to me a while ago, but I thought that it would be perfect for Mother's Day. We are going to be creating Mommy and Me butterflies. So before we get started, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and turn on those post notifications so that you do not miss the next tutorial. So a little while ago, I got a request for some butterflies, and I thought that would be such a cute, simple painting, and definitely something you can do even with your kids, with your girlfriends, with your own mom, or just with the woman that you want to celebrate in your life for Mother's Day. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And as always, I'm going to go over everything that we're going to be using in this tutorial. So I am using a 16 by 20 inch canvas. You can use the canvas size of your choice. It's completely up to you. You also want to make sure that you have some different sized acrylic brushes, a cup with cold water to wash your brushes, and some napkins or a rag to dry your brushes off on. And I am going to be working with acrylic paint. I'm using the colors phthalo blue, burnt sienna, chrome yellow, titanium white, bright red, and Mars black. So you just want to make sure you got all of your supplies. And as always, it's going to be listed down in the description below. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to start by filling in my entire background. I want this to be almost like a bit of an abstract like field of flowers that the butterflies are going to be in. So I am starting with my biggest flat brush, whatever bigger brush you have, that's the one you want to start with. And I am going to be starting with white and a little bit of yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the corner here and I'm going to pull a line across. Now, it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom here. It does stop a bit higher up, but everything above that line, I'm going to keep picking up white and yellow, and I am just going to be flipping my brush back and forth across to get this entire section filled in. So again, I'm picking up both colors together, and I'm just flipping the brush back and forth across until I get it filled in. Now, once you have finished filling that part in, don't wash your brush out. The next color I'm going to move into is actually like an orange, like a peachish color. If you want to do a different color, then go ahead and wash your brush. But I'm going to be making more of a peach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some red and I'm going to come over to the side and I'm going to pull another line down. And you see this line goes down at an angle as well, and it goes to the bottom of the canvas this time. Now, I am going to be picking up 3 colors. Now, I know that sounds like a lot to put on your brush at once, but you just want to put a little bit of red on there, a little bit of yellow, and then also a little bit of white. And I'm just going to allow those colors to blend in this section. So you see, because of the white and the red, it's now creating like a peach color. And you want to make sure as you're doing this that you overlap your yellow a bit too. You want to make sure that they're not separate at all, that they don't have any space in between them. You want to overlap them really well. And you're just going to get that entire section filled in. All right, now this time I am going to be creating some green for the very last section because again, I want it to look like an abstract field of flowers. So I do want a little bit of grass down there, or the look of grass. If you want to wash your brush off, go ahead and get all of this washed out. I'm just going to be making green. So this time what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pick up some blue and just wipe some spots of blue at the bottom. And then I am going to go back into picking up yellow on one side of my brush, white on the other side, and I'm going to get this blended. Now you'll see that you are going to get a green, but that green is also going to have the other colors in it if you didn't wash your brush, and that's completely fine because we're going for an abstract field of flowers. And same thing that you did with the yellow, make sure you overlap that layer of peach or orange that you have there. Now, once you have everything completely filled in, before we can add any more details, we do have to give this a second to dry. So while it's drying, you can always take a quick break, grab yourself some drinks, some snacks, whatever you'd like. Or if you don't want to take a break, you can always grab a blow dryer and blow dry your painting on the cool setting. If you are taking a break though, you just want to give yourself about 10 to 15 minutes to let this dry completely, and then we'll start back on the next step together in a few.
One eternity later.
So now that our backgrounds are completely dry, we're going to come back, and before we add the little flowers in the background, we're going to actually add on the first layer of the butterflies. Now remember, these butterflies are completely up to you as far as how big you make them. If you want to make multiple butterflies, maybe you have multiple children, or maybe you have a lot of siblings. However many butterflies you want to make is completely up to you. I'm going to be doing two. I'm going to do a mother butterfly, and I am going to do a baby butterfly. So I am using my medium round brush for this part. And for the first one, I am going to mix up right on my plate. I'm going to mix some blue and white. So right on my plate, I'm just going to mix up blue and white. And the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to make a line at a bit of an angle. From that line, I'm going to create my wings because we don't have like the little body of the butterfly in just yet. So we want to make a line to show us where the body's going to be and also how to base the butterfly wings. So this first wing, it's going to go right up. Now again, if you want to do your wings a little bit differently, if you want them bigger, it's completely up to you. Now the second wing is going to come to the back. So I'm starting where this wing ended, and now I'm going to go to the back there. And I'm just going to go in and fill those in. Now if you like this shape of the butterfly, you can leave the shape of the wings just like this, right? But I want to make it a little bit more detailed. So what I'm actually going to do, at the curve of each wing, I'm going to do kind of like a triangle point and then fill it in. Same thing here. I'm doing like a triangle point and then fill it in. While this paint is still wet, I'm also going to take a little bit of white on my brush and just kind of wipe some of it in there, just to give it a little bit of extra detail. So you see, I'm just lightly wiping that in there. Now my next butterfly, if you want your butterflies to be the same color, they definitely can. But I'm going to make my smaller butterfly a lighter purple. So where I had my blue, I'm going to now take some red and more white, and I'm going to mix that in. Now, before I actually make my baby butterfly, just so that the mama butterfly has a little bit of the same color, I'm going to wipe some of this purple on here too. And then I am going to repeat the same steps I did here. The only difference is I'm going to change the direction of it, and I'm making them a little bit smaller. So this time, the line is going to go at an angle that way. The first wing goes right up like that. The second wing goes to the back or down, going downward, and I'm going to fill it in. And remember, if you like this shape, you can leave it as is. Or if you like this shape, all you're going to do is repeat that step of adding a little triangle on the curve of the wing and filling it in. Same thing down here. Now, the same way I added detail in there, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, haven't washed my brush yet, and I'm just going to add that into this butterfly. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of blue to add onto my baby butterfly. So before we can do anything else to our mommy and me butterflies, we have to give them a second to dry. While they're drying, we can work on some background details. So I'm going to wash my brush out completely. You want to make sure to get all of that paint out of there and dry it off really well. And on my plate, I'm going to mix up some more green. So before we didn't mix it up, we just painted it and let it blend on the canvas. This time I'm going to mix it up. And on my plate, I'm mixing up blue with a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to be doing 3 shades. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. First, I'm going to go in with this darker shade. And all I'm going to be doing is just adding in quick little stems. They don't all have to come from the ground. They don't have to be perfect lines. I'm just doing quick little stems. Remember, we want the back to be more like an abstract field of flowers. You can add some little ones going further up. Now I'm going to be adding some more. So this time I'm going to take a little bit of that burnt sienna, that brown, and I'm going to mix that into my green pile. I want to make this a bit of a different shade of green. So I'm mixing that in. It's almost going to turn like an olive green. And I'm going to go in and add some of those stems as well. They don't have to be everywhere the other stems are. They can overlap if you like. They don't have to all be the same size. You just add them in to get your field of abstract flowers. Now the last shade I'm going to do, I'm going to add some white to that same mixture. So I'm going to add white and I'm going to add a little more blue back in and I'm going to mix that up. And now I'm going to go through and add some more. Now remember, we did use white to make our green color in the background. So if it's almost too much of the same shade, add a little more white to lighten the color of the stems up, the color that we're using now. So I'm adding more white to lighten mine up. That way it stands out. And remember, you can add as many or as few as you like. Don't be afraid to overlap them or have more of one color than the other. We want this to be abstract. All right. Now, I'm still going to let the butterflies dry, but while they're drying, I am going to add in some abstract flowers. And if you want actual flowers, you definitely can add whatever flowers you like. I just want it to be more abstract. So the first one that I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with just white. And I'm still using my medium brush. I did wash all of those green colors out. And I'm going in with just white. And on some of the stems, I'm just going to tap down some white to add a white flower. If you want to do some different colors, you definitely can. They don't all have to be on the stem either. You can kind of do them just hanging out in the grass. But I'm just tapping my brush down to create the look of some little white flowers on the stems. And also just kind of hanging out in the grass as well. All right. Now that we have the white on there, and remember, you can do as much or as little as you like. The next color I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some white and a little bit of red on my plate because I want to get some almost like pink flowers in there as well. And I'm just going to go through and tap down the pink flowers where I want to see them. You can even overlap some of the white ones with a little bit of pink. And remember, they don't all have to be on the stems. If you want them to look as though they've fallen in the grass, that is completely fine. Now, once you feel like you have enough of that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move back to my butterflies, and I want to add some details to my butterfly. So this time I am going to be switching to my smallest brush. If you were comfortable with the medium round brush, feel free to keep using it, or you can switch to whatever smaller brush you have. And I'm going to be using black for this part. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth and do the same steps on each butterfly. But remember, you can design your butterflies and add whatever details to the wings that you would like. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this butterfly. So I'm going to outline the wing completely in black. And remember, I'm doing the same thing on this butterfly. I'm going to do it on that butterfly. So I'm going to go and outline this one next. Once you have them outlined, I'm going to go through and add some more detail. So I want to make the black outline a little bit thicker. One way I'm going to do that is at the top of this wing. You know how we had that curve initially and then we added the triangle? I'm going to add that curve back in, and I'm going to fill in everything on top of the curve. So you see there? Same thing here. I'm going to add that curve back in and fill in everything behind the curve. Now again, that part's completely optional. How you design your wings are completely up to you. I'm going to do the same thing on my baby butterfly. If you like it with just that amount of black, you can leave it as is. I'm going to go in and add a little more black. This time, I'm going to start from the center here, but I'm going to move down a bit, and I'm going to make a curve going back. And I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to do the same thing up top. I'm going to start from the side of the wing and curve over. And then I'm going to fill that in. Same thing on the baby wing. Start from the side, pull that line in. I'm going to fill that part in. Start from the side and pull a line over. And then fill that in. Now, before I'm done with the black, what I'm going to do is add on the body and the antennas. So for the body, right underneath the wings, I am just simply going to flatten my brush and pull a bit of a line down. But as I get towards the bottom wing, I am going to just pull the line out a little bit. You see how at the top it was all the way on it, but as I get to the bottom, I pull it off. Same thing here. And as I get to the bottom, I'm going to pull it off. Now, I'm also going to give it some little antennas. If you don't want this part, you can definitely skip it. I am going to actually do it where their antennas make a little bit of a heart. So I'm going to curve this one up and over. And I'm going to curve this one up and over. And I'm only giving each butterfly one antenna. Again, that's just because I wanted to curve them up towards each other. If you want more than one, it's completely up to you. But now that we have that part in, I'm going to go through and I'm going to add a few more details to my butterflies. So I'm going to go in and add some little dots to my butterflies. Again, you can do what you like. If you have like some gems or some glitter at home, you can even add that. But I wash my smallest brush and I'm going to use this with some white paint. And I'm going to add some little dots on the black areas. They don't all have to be the same size. They can be different sizes. You can do it all the way around. You can keep it at the top. It's completely up to you. But I'm just going through and adding some little white dots. And I'm going to do the same thing on my baby butterfly. Just adding those little white dots on the black area of the wings. Now, once you finish with that, if there are any other details you would like to add to your butterflies, feel free to do so. If you want to add any more flowers, if you want to add words to it, you can add whatever you'd like. But the very last thing you want to make sure to do is just simply signing your name. So I'm going to keep my smallest brush and my little bit of white paint. I'm just going to sign my initials right in the corner. And once you have signed your painting, you now have your very own Mommy and Me butterflies. Thank you all so much for painting with me today. I truly hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It is perfect for Mother's Day. It's perfect for the springtime, and it's perfect for you, your friends and family, and even your kids. Also, I hope you all have a very happy and wonderful Mother's Day. To all of the mothers celebrating and to all of those who are going through a little bit of grief on something that's supposed to be such a special day, I am sending you all of my love and wrapping my arms around you, and I hope that you can feel it. Thank you for painting with me. Remember, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those post notifications, and I will see you in the next tutorial.